but there we go. Okay. Live, and then I get this to go to the Discord, and we go
move to desktop. There we go. Spooky Adolf pick. Okay. Yeah, my boy. Look at him.
Hang on. There we go. Wow.
Hi.
Here we go. Okay, cool. Well, let us do the thing that we do, and that is the show. Crazy that.
Wait, how? Wait, how? To change name? How?
You can do it on individual servers now. Or you can go into the settings, into your actual profile settings, user settings.
Whatever. There it is. Edit username. Yeah, I just want to do in general.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
Oh, my password.
Spooky Adolf, Slay. Yes, that is true. There he is. So, hello. Welcome back to TableTalk, Discussion and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Grada95.
I am your second host, as spooky as usual, Spooky Adolf.
There he is. Vortex at E. And then Tracker Kraken says, "Oh no, it's a ghost." Yeah, it's true. It's true. At the moment, I'm just being a non-spooky thing that is visible, at least. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. Anyway,
not even. So someone hasn't found the quote-unquote spirit of Spooky Month.
I have to work. You did this years ago. Shut up.
I did. Hey, I did it like a few days less than a year ago.
Shut up.
All right, I made 2 Christmas profile pics, or 3 Christmas profile pics, and 2 Halloween.
Gotcha. Well, there you go.
I love his little droopy eyes.
They're a little off. Excuse me.
It was meant to channel the energy of Charlie Brown.
Yes. Yep. That's fair enough. So today, we're gonna be doing some player tip videos. And we're also going to be doing a little bit differently than we usually do. We're not gonna start with comments. And we're gonna do comments in the middle and see how that goes. And then we're gonna try next week with them at the end and see how that goes and see what people prefer. Considering that was a good point brought up in the survey thing that we did. By the way, if you haven't filled in the survey thing yet, hey, do it. It's on our Discord, and also I'll put it in the description of this right now. But it was brought up, and it was something that I was wondering about changing anyway. Of like, people just kind of come into the podcast and they go, wow, they're talking about comments for like half an hour. They haven't even talked about anything, you know? So we'll see how it goes from there. So let's jump straight into the thing. How about that? We are going to be looking at a video from, let me see who this is. Tabletop Theory, called Simple Advice for New RPG Players, Player Tips. And this is from a very small channel it seems. Hasn't been looked at by much of anyone, and I was hoping that it would be good. And that we could maybe promote him a little bit, considering he has like 160 subs or something. I'm not sure. But the lighting looks good, and I'm hoping the advice is as well. So, if you would join me, my friends, in the watch chat.
Hold on,
I've been trying. Yeah, don't worry.
I've been wrestling with my password, and apparently I don't remember my password. And I looked it up to where all right, so a bit of backstory on me. I changed all 143 of my passwords recently.
Okay.
In a feverish night of password changing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to change my name on Discord, which requires me to put my password.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to put in my new password, and it said your password is wrong. And I said, "Wow."
Fair.
It wouldn't be a tabletop production if it wasn't by the seat of my pants.
Yeah. Woo! I was trying to fill dead air for a while, try to get you to that point, but don't worry about it, man. We'll just, it's fine. Another thing to note, before we get too far away from it, this isn't the start of season 4 yet of the show. Don't worry, we're getting there. This is testing these two little things out to become part of the norm of season 4 and beyond. And so we're still in season 3, which is why everything looks the same, basically. But I have some things on the way.
Season 4 will officially begin when I officially change my name. You guys are just getting the teaser.
Oh. I have a few things.
Also, apparently, I remembered my password right. I'm just an idiot and typed it wrong 3 times.
Very good. Legitimately though, I do have something very special coming that I'm going to start working on tonight, because I finally have the ability to, because of generous people, and that gives you a little bit of a hint to what it is. But I will tell the hosts about it later tonight. So, regardless of that, are you good to listen to the video, my man?
I sure am. I am simply pandering for compliments on my Discord profile and name in a Discord server I am in.
Okay, well there we go. Here we go then. Let us look at this video.
Hey everybody. Today we're going to talk about some tips for new RPG players that I wanted to share with you. Let's get started. Thank you so much for being here. My name's Joe, and welcome to Tabletop Theory.
Hello, Joe.
Today I wanted to talk about some ideas for new players that I feel like would be helpful if you're just starting out in this hobby as a player. Or if you wanted to give your players some tips for ways to get prepared for their first game, I think some of these tips might be helpful, because sometimes what ends up happening is players will show up to the game and they have no idea what they're getting involved in as far as rules or requirements or dice. I just wanted to mention real quickly, I use a couple of different terms that all can mean the same thing. So there's DM, GM, and storyteller. All of those are basically the same. DM means Dungeon Master, and that's specific to Dungeons & Dragons. GM means Game Master, and that's a pretty broad definition that gets used across a lot of different systems. And Storyteller is a definition that comes from the world of darkness, things like Vampire the Masquerade, Mage the Ascension, Werewolf the Apocalypse. DM.
My man's over here explaining his terms right off the bat. Feels good.
Making sure everyone's on the same page.
Oh, good stuff.
Alejo, why can't we have this level of professionalism?
Because we're live, and I refuse.
True. Okay. You know what? I spoke out of turn there. You're right.
GM, storyteller, all the same. This game is more about collaboration than it is about competition, because there aren't winners or losers in a role-playing game, and that can be something that, if you're used to playing things like board games or sports, can seem a little weird. It's not an adversarial relationship that exists between the players and the storyteller. Yes. Everybody's kind of on the same side because everybody needs each other whenever they sit down to play, because the storyteller can't play without the players, likewise the players can't play without the storyteller. Whenever you sit down to play as a new player, just remember that it's not like you're facing off against the DM. That person is not there to make your life miserable. Their job is to help bring the world to life that you and the other players are playing in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that was a quick point, and yes. Yes!
Read the source material. This might seem like a bit of a no-brainer, but I think it's important to mention if you're a new player and you want to actually start getting ready for your first game, know the basic rule of character creation. They're different from each system, but generally speaking, that requires taking some dice and rolling up a character and writing down some things on a character sheet. Then, know the rules for combat that you're going to be playing, and know the rules for social interaction. Out of all three of those, how to create a character is probably the
Alright, so I actually do have some thoughts on this.
Okay.
Well, yes, I agree. Like, do your best to know combat as well as you can beforehand. If you are a newcomer to the system, you're not going to pick up combat and roleplay and, like, take to it like a duck to water. Like, it is more of an, I don't want to quite say an acquired taste, but it's an acquired taste. Like you're gonna be rough at it at first, until you get better at it, and your DM should discuss what is going to be the social etiquette of your campaign, because social etiquette can change and vary campaign to campaign.
Yes.
For instance, if you're running a campaign where you are encouraged to like backbite and be absolute fuckers to each other, be a more evil campaign or something, the social etiquette for that will be different than the social etiquette in like a bog standard D&D game.
Very much so.
So your DM should go over that during session 0, and that's something that I always try to go over. And one of the things I always discuss in session 0 is because I'm going to be throwing enemies at you, it's sort of a mistaken thought to think that I'm trying to make you guys fail. Like, I want you guys to succeed. I just have to do the work of creating something balancing that can kill you.
Yeah.
But probably won't, or maybe will.
The inflection keeps going up as you talk, obviously.
There comes the point where the tone I'm speaking in is like 3 octaves higher than my normal. But like, usually when you make a enemy, you just kind of make it and you go, okay, well, coin toss. Let's see how this goes. This will either kill someone or it won't.
It might die in 2 rounds. It might kill someone in 2 rounds.
Let's see what happens, shall we?
Yeah.
And typically, if it's meant to be an easier boss, I will then dial it down 10%.
Sure.
And if it's like where it's less likely that it'll kill someone, but if it's meant to be an especially lethal boss, I dial it up 10%.
That's fair.
Maybe give it a bit of flavor text and backstory as relevant. Anyway, yeah, no, all of these should hopefully be addressed by your GM in session 0?
What I want to say about all this with regards to knowing, combat and knowing about role playing and stuff and being brand new to it, something that you shouldn't be opposed to, or at least more inclined to do, is perhaps ask questions about everything. It's very useful, considering I'm for our Wednesday games, we're starting a different campaign, because we're done with those characters for now, right? Most of them. One of them is being transferred over because why not? And everyone kind of wants to play something new, and because of that, the story that we're in right now with those characters wouldn't really fit with these new characters, right? So we're changing over, and the immediate questions that I had was a lot of stuff about the world and like specifically culture, specifically how the classes are, in the sense of like classes of people, not the RPG character classes, like how are people treated, and all that kind of stuff. Is there a clear class difference between people? How are races looked at? All that kind of stuff, in order to kind of gauge what my character would be doing and all that kind of stuff. By the way, made a turtle anthropologist. That
made a what anthropologist?
Turtle.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a College of Lore bard. And he's adopted the culture of the Dragonborn in the area, basically, because of his anthropology, because that's what the background gives you. Basically, it gives you this whole thing. So yeah, I'm real excited to be that guy, and like we're gonna be in a very morally gray campaign, which is great. I'm here for it. If I gotta move people off of a site so I can get to it, I will get those people out.
So, oh, sorry, no, finish your point.
Oh, yeah. So, in general, the asking of these kinds of questions will help you in this. I assume, since he's going towards character creation, it'll help you with that, but it'll also help you kind of get the feel, hopefully, for roleplay itself. Like, really understand where your character is coming from and all of that. And it might be a lot for a new player. That's fair enough. You might not have the idea to ask all these questions, but perhaps, if you somehow find this and you're new to role playing, hey, all the information that you want, whether it be about role playing, combat, or the system in general, you should just ask questions about. Like, it's imperative, because you won't know anything otherwise. I mean, you can do it live, but like giving yourself a little bit of time to prep beforehand, of like having a little bit of an idea of it might be more beneficial. I don't know. Depends on you, I guess.
So, speaking of College of Lore bards,
yes.
I am making a character for my DM's next, or my player / DM's next campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And he is an artificer. Alejo, you'll be familiar with my character Gregor Wolfspite from our Pathfinder campaign.
Yes.
It's literally Gregor.
Right, okay.
Partyficer? Yes, the Partyficer.
Yeah.
So a guy who sees everything as like one never-ending party.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted him to be like a college student, mm-hmm. and he would be part of a fraternity, Omega Omega Omega. Mm-hmm. Go Cat Boys. Shut up. And
hello, Boo.
I may or may not have developed the hand signal for like omega, 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 and it's involves literally holding up your fingers in such a way that it makes a lowercase omega.
Hey, that's cool.
Is because it's just kind of a claw.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I started looking at my character because he's an artificer. He was going to be an engineering student who like basically uses what he knows about engineering to like make grenades of like forced dancing, or a potion that he'll smash on the ground and everyone within a 50-foot radius, including himself, gets blackout drunk. Which is funny to think about because he is like a dwarf with poison resistance.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, yo, I made this for dwarves. I didn't know y'all were lightweights. And I realized when I started like emphasizing more the college student aspect of what he was,
right,
that what I was doing was going about the most back-asswards way of making a College of Lore bard.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Also, greetings. At least Boo is spooky.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah,
okay.
I always am.
God.
You know,
he works
actually,
for every holiday. Okay.
Speaking of spooky,
yeah.
Did you guys know that our sponsor, Back 4 Blood, is now available on Steam?
I wish
is it really?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, dude,
now.
I'm hyped.
I've been intending on buying it actually.
Jesus, $60 right now. Woo.
I'll probably get it next paycheck. See how it goes.
That'd be fun. Because I mean, hey, it's basically just updated Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can aim down sights and shit. It's like,
which is
what? Great. No.
Oh, crazy. But yeah,
I would be able to get it on my next paycheck, but I have an artist to pay.
Yeah, I
gotta pay off my artist.
But we're in the watch together right now. We're doing video just off the bat. Gonna start doing the comments later in the show.
We're enacting that.
We're testing it out. See how.
So it's season 4.
No, not yet. No, well, this is just test runs of
preview.
Yes,
season 3.5.
Yes, 3.5.
3.5 edition. One might say.
Yes. You might.
But
say
where I realized that where I was going with the whole College of Lore bard thing was when my DM, I was talking to him about it, and he's like, I sort of want to just like straight up give you a magic item, and that can be a ring you attune to, and it's and he showed me, or rather referenced this for those who do not know. It is the Destiny 2 emote where you like summon a DJ board out of like little lights, and you start like DJing on it, and everyone around you can hear music. And he's like, I just want to give that to you and have you be like the inventor of dubstep or something.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, I love it. Give it to me. I want to smack someone across the face and say, drop the bass.
I love it. Gib.
Yes.
Give me.
Oh
man, Okoi did a 20 Steam tanks. Can't wait to see that.
Descent 1E and 2E board game does that 1 versus many rule set. Yeah, it works better in a board game. It's like hell. One of my favorite board games, Betrayal of House on the Hill, or Betrayal at House on the Hill. It has everybody working together until the traitor is revealed, and then you all work against that player. Like, it's super cool. And it's really it's very fun.
Amogus?
Amogus?
Amogus? Goose
No.
Goose Duck?
No, it's not.
That's a new Among Us clone.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's sometimes the house itself is trying to kill you. It's very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a great board game. It's really fun. But yeah, so it works better as a board game thing or as a game thing itself, but not, for the TTRPG.
Oh, this is a short video.
Yes. Total anthropologist. I belong in a museum. True.
Oh, I'm gonna play some
Dead of Winter is like that. Fair enough. I haven't played it yet. I do want to play it at some point. But yes, so we're doing, player tips videos today, Boo. So This is for new players, and so far he said it's not DM versus player, and you should learn at least the rules a little bit.
Yes.
And
also, speaking of player tips,
okay.
As I mentioned, I can't afford Back 4 Dead or whatever it was called. So if you could could tip this player, I would be able to afford it.
No.
Tip me at our Patreon on the I'm tipping Boo tier. Make it happen, away ho.
God. No, if you want to do that, you donate directly to Boo, okay? If you want to donate directly to Boo.
Wait, you can't?
I mean, if you make that as the note of it and you tell me that's what it's for, I'll give it just to him. That's fine.
No, don't do it. I'm fucking around.
Yeah, no. We're not going to do that.
I know.
But, yeah.
Come on, chat, back me up, but don't.
Anyway, so let's continue with the video.
Yes. It's important for very new players because that's going to be the first they do whenever they start to play the game. Now, that doesn't mean you have to understand everything about how to create a character and come to the game with a new character. No, reading the source material does not mean that you have to know every rule from the entire book. If you take all of these three things together, you've become prepared to actually interact with the world that you're going to be playing in. Coincidentally, those three things are also the three basic principles that you need to know out of a rule set to become a storyteller.
What I would say, because he said you don't have to come with a character. I would say more, you should come with an idea of a character.
Yes, absolutely.
That's really kind of, because like even if you have the most cliched idea possible, like your DM can work with you on that, and make it not as cliche.
And I will honestly take even being more general than that. Know what sort of character you want to play. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I want to play a character that his parents, like, bandits killed his parents, and he's a grizzled veteran or whatever the fuck.
Sure.
Like, if I look at you and I say, does he use magic or does he hit things with a sword?
Okay, I see what you mean now.
You'll be able to answer that for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you go even further down the line and go, but do you want to hit things with a sword and use magic?
Or do you want to hit things with magic?
Dude,
sword magic.
Do you want a magic thing with hits?
If someone said like, oh, I want to like use both, I'd be like, all right, dude, I got you.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Do you want to like graffiti things and be a rune knight, or do you want to like just be a nerd and be spell sword?
Right, exactly.
I want to fucking tag shit.
Yeah, you tag that shit.
Just play my vampire character.
If you read the source material, it's a prepared player. A basic read through of just the book, just in those three sections, it's a minimal amount of effort that I wouldn't say is required, but it's encouraged for a new player. Listening to the people at your table is important because every
beats
group
to make
of people
characters
that
too.
gets together to play these games is going to be different. So learning things like house rules, or learning things like who prefers to sit where, or learning things like this person knows a lot about magic use and can be a really helpful resource if I have questions whenever I'm playing my wizard. All of these different things come together to know the different people that you actually are going to be playing with. So you might have people at your table that have less experience or more experience than you, so they're going to be able to give you references and insight for your character, for what to do during the game, maybe if there's a puzzle that you can't figure out.
References.
Asking these people for help is important, and actually listening to what they have to say is the other part of that. So get to know the players that you're playing with as well as the GM, and you're going to be in a much better position as a new player.
You know, it's not really said very often of like actually getting to know each other on a personal level.
Alejo,
You know?
I mean, Aiden, say the thing.
I refuse.
Okay, then I'll say it for you. Clear and honest communication.
Yes, exactly what was on my mind.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought so.
So
but,
yes.
I mean, you say it all the time, so I'll say it for you this time.
Right. Just
next time. Next time.
But so it's more the actually, like, I don't know, getting to know the people that, like, because you're saying getting to know the people you're playing with, like, it's less just open and honest communication. It's more just being friendly.
Yeah, that too.
Because like if you meet every week, you probably want to get to know these people, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna be around with you every week, and then you can probably form a better relationship both in game and out of game with them because of it, which is great.
I would highly recommend any D&D party do trust falls.
And then the falls are onto a pile of D4s.
Very good, very good, very good. This coming up after I had another Left 4 Dead 2 phase. I just bought the Warlords of new, or the Warlords on new DLC for Division 2. Saw it was only
the
$10.
Warlords of New York. There we go.
Warlords of New York. Yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah.
I like to build my characters around the class/concept, like the Celestial Warlock I'm working on, having been saved by the Patron as a child and now being called to adventure by the Patron. Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's another way. Like, there's no wrong way to make a character, right? You just, like, if it's, you look at the classes and then go, oh, that'd be cool, and I'll build myself around it, that's fair.
Yeah.
If you go, I have an idea for what my character's backstory is, then you go from there, you know, or you go, I just want to have a sword, and then you go from there.
Yeah,
right.
That's the thing. Like, you pick a starting line, but the starting line can be whatever you want.
Absolutely. And there's no, like, and it's also one of those things of like having a moment to really kind of test out that character and like understand them better. If you're brand fucking new, right? You might not like the class you're playing. You know, you might not like the character that you're playing. So potentially, you know, having a session 0.1 with your DM so that they, you know, you get a feel for your character and they get a feel for your character and what your goals are, maybe. Where it's like you and your DM and that's it. And you do this small backstory kind of adventure thing in order to figure out who you are and what you're doing. Maybe suggest that with your DM if you're brand new and just want to try to figure them out.
And you want to try to play the game.
Well, yeah. But I just mean in general, like the character, like trying to figure.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean, but like that way you have that opportunity to actually try out your character. Yeah. With training wheels on, effectively.
Yes. Yeah.
And that way you can see it's like, I'm not really a big fan of fighters, but there was no way to know until until you played one.
Yes. So I messed that up. No, you're good. Yeah, my brain couldn't understand Warlords on new, and I was confused.
No, you're good.
No, yeah.
We want to do it. We're just waiting on Brogan to level up.
True.
Where we are, because he a busy man.
He's a busy man. We're all busy men.
And you still need to clear all the strongholds.
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Well,
right
no,
now,
we cleared all the strongholds together. Remember?
No, now you gotta do it with Black Tusks.
Oh, gotcha.
You gotta do it all over again.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're a new player, you really aren't expected to be an expert in everything. If that means that you want to ask for help from the people at your table or from the GM or maybe look for rules online, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you if you don't know all the rules on your own, and you're not expected to figure everything out by yourself. If you're a new player, that's what other players are there for. They're there as a resource that can help you actually figure out how to make the most of your game. And if you're working with players that maybe aren't really helpful to you developing that stuff, that can be a clue that that group might not be a good fit for you. But asking for that kind of help gets you more prepared to identify the type of players and storytellers that work well for you whenever you're actually going to be playing a game.
So that's true. Heaven forbid you're in a group of absolute newbies as well, though. Right?
Yeah.
Like, even the DM doesn't really understand it too well at that point. But even so, like, if you're in that group, you're probably all, like, taking the venture together in that sense in order to understand and learn it. So, I agree. Do the thing where you ask the questions of the people.
Oh, Jesus.
Hello. Are you all right?
Yeah, it sounded like metal scraping on metal happened, like, inside your microphone.
In mine?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't
like when
hear that.
you spoke.
Oh. Must have just been for you, dude.
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That seems like it's a you problem.
I'll check the recording later.
Oh, yeah, check. And also, did chat hear that?
Yeah. If chat heard that too, then that would be a problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, who knows?
Mistakes are growth. That's true.
Mistakes are going to happen. You're not going to remember every rule. You might roll the wrong die. The bad guy might get away. You may not save the day, and evil may prevail. That's fine. It's happened to me a lot. I have screwed up a lot when I've played, and sometimes it's not even my fault as a player, it's the fault of my dice. And believe me, everyone's dice have taken the opportunity to make their lives miserable. Yeah. It's not just you. Even as a storyteller, everybody flubs things sometimes. So don't take it too hard if you feel like you are the one who's responsible for letting the bad guy escape, because those mistakes that you might make in play are only going to add to the development of the story. It's not your fault if you do something and something doesn't go your way.
Unless it's your fault.
As long as you're trying to have fun with the rest of the players, that's the most important thing. So try to keep in mind that if you as a player are making mistakes, or if your other players are making mistakes, try not to come at it with a judgmental attitude like, oh, you're a screw-up, you're a terrible wizard because you can't seem to remember that you have to cast Fireball whenever you walk into a very small room and want to smoke everything. No. Everybody takes different approaches to actually playing games because everybody's different. Everybody's creating different characters. As this is a collaborative storytelling process, whenever somebody makes a mistake, that's what the party's there for, to lift up their other party members, to help them feel encouraged, smart enough, and powerful enough to be able to actually play the game. Because that's the whole point. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. That sounds nice.
And like, we've talked about it before, but don't forget to just that you can use those mistakes that you make as something for your character too, right? Like, oh, bad guy got away, or you didn't save this one family. That eats away at your character, right? You know, like, your character wants to get better to never make that happen again, and if it does happen again, maybe it makes them further, you know, descend into some upset,
some Anakin Skywalker shit,
or it goes the other way, and it makes you go, I want to kill you all. You know?
I thought that's where you were going with that.
No. I was going, it either makes you more upset in the sense of maybe more depressed, big sad, or makes you very angry, or it makes you, I don't know, more apathetic, or, you know, it becomes something that leads to more stuff. Obviously, it's not immediate, right?
You know, that'd be really interesting to actually have a character who fucks up and that becomes true neutral because of it.
Oh yeah, like there's no point, like, if I do this or not, perhaps. That
sounds
like,
very Cthulhu, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
like, there's
much so.
literally no point. They're gonna win.
Yeah.
Why are we bothering?
So you know, use those as that, and then obviously, like you said, it will, you know, change the story somewhat and be just another note in it, right? Like, you're just gonna keep going. Heard what now? Okay, cool. And just Fireball. Yeah, just Fireball every time.
Yeah, just Fireball.
There's no wrong answer.
Okay. And it seems like it might have just been on your side, Aiden.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
That reminds me of when my character literally war crimed a room full of like 7 people and important documents that turned out to be financial documents.
That's right.
Because there was a castle full of slavers, and my character just cracked his knuckles and decided you all need to die.
Someone gonna die.
There was a room full of papers like, so-and-so owes the castle this much money because of this reason. And I torched the whole fucking thing.
Nice. Hopefully the documents were from like a bad boy who was like, we're gonna
were.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The only problem was it was also the documents that proved that how much of a bad boy the bad boy was. So
well, did he die in the end?
Oh yeah, everyone there got extremely killed.
Oh, okay,
hey, justice.
Because this is sort of a fucky campaign as far as power levels are concerned, and we have like friends that are dragons.
Oh.
And one of them cast Meteor Swarm on the castle.
Oh,
nice.
Okay.
And bad things, panic ensued in the town once they saw a dragon appear and
fair.
like summon a meteor swarm on the castle.
Okay.
Yeah. And my character is a 12-year-old child who war crimed a room full of people.
Oh, you're Killua.
Yeah.
You just need the fucking 100-pound yo-yos now. God, I want to make a character that uses yo-yos. I love yo-yo weapons, man. They're awesome.
Sure. Okay.
Shout out people who played Earthbound. Oh, nobody?
Oh, true, yeah. That is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that it's just a game. And that doesn't mean that I think that anybody's going to confuse fantasy for reality like that really awful Tom Hanks movie.
Hey! It's a far-out game!
It's a far-out game, my man.
It's really, really easy to get pulled in really hard by this hobby. It happened to me when I was younger. It's happened to my friends. It continually happens to the people that I run games for. If this is the first time they've ever run, all you want to do is play more D&D. And that's a perfectly natural reaction because Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Starfinder, whatever you're playing is a lot of fun. And once you've figured out how to do it, all you really want to do is do more of it.
That's true.
But keep in mind that the rest of the world still exists. This is not me discouraging you from playing. It's okay if you guys get enthusiastic about the game. It's good. It's a lot of fun to get involved in this stuff, and there's a lot of really great benefits to play. I wholeheartedly encourage you to get involved with this as much as you want. But, like with so many things in life, there is a balance to be had. So just keep in mind, if you're playing a lot of D&D and you're enjoying yourself, that's great. But if other things in your life are starting to suffer, you might want to reconsider how much time you're spending and how much effort you're putting into it. Because there are other things in life outside of role-playing.
Are you trying to tell me that I shouldn't grind up my D20 and snort that shit?
What do you mean? It'll get me closer to the game.
And then fucking, like, melt my dice tray, my resin dice tray, and, like, inject that directly into my veins? I don't know. I don't know about these tips.
That sounds like something that I should be doing every day.
Yeah, this sounds like a satanic panic kind of shit.
That final.
But yeah, don't inject dice.
Oh yeah, don't.
It's bad. I would know.
I don't think it needs to be said.
I don't think it's even possible, actually, but I'm sure someone will try.
That final boss for Earthbound, yes, it's fucked.
Yeah!
Pretty great.
The Babby. Super Babby. Super Babby 9 billion. Or Super Babby 666, there we go.
Injecting plastic into my veins sounds fun. Yes, it does sound fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds fun. Hey, when we get to Cyberpunk level, you could.
True.
Just wait until Cyberpunk. The actual Cyberpunk.
And that's a good thing because all of those help you to become a better player later. So that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay.
If you're a new player and you're starting out on your first game, welcome. I'm excited that you're actually going to be playing your first game soon. If you've done your first game, I want to know how it went. What did you play? What did you do? What kind of character did you create? If it was a great time, or if it was a bad time, or if you just had a weird time, I want to know how it went. Leave a comment down in the comment section here, or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter and let me know how it went there. I'm excited that you've become a part of this hobby, or if you're a player that's returning after a long time, welcome back. I'm glad you're here.
Well, I recently had my first game in a while, and then I nearly instantly died, so... That's why I play a DM. That way, if I die, it doesn't matter, because I have, like, all the other NPCs to play.
It's very role-playing games as a way to escape your day-to-day grind. Everyone's life is different, and you're the one who gets to live your life. I know I say that a lot here, but it's really true. I don't know what you're going through. So if you need an escape from your day-to-day life, RPGs are really great self-care.
True.
But it's important to check in
are.
with yourself and really try to examine why you're playing. Is it because you just want to relieve stress? Or is there something that you may need a little more help with? And that's where professional help comes in. You can talk to a faith leader in your community, you can talk to a professional counselor, a teacher. There are people in your life that are there to help. I've left some resources down in the comments section below. If you need them, they're there just for that.
That's really nice of you.
But if you don't need them, then I am really happy that you're a part of the game, and I look forward to hearing how it goes for you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, be kind, and have fun adventuring.
Man,
you know, that's like super nice and wholesome. What the fuck?
I gotta say that is a classy as fuck way to end your video.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, honestly,
Damn.
it's a great way to end the video, but at the same time, I really, really wish that we weren't in... It sucks that kind of shit has to be said now. Because that's just the state of things.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's true.
It's just sad to...
Yeah.
You know. But
it's exceptional because of what it, like, today. Which is unfortunate, but...
Right.
Yeah, very, very good intro, I guess, into TTRPGs in general.
Yes.
Very scratching the surface, I guess you could say.
Yeah, very Babby's first blank.
Yes, absolutely.
Which
for
is
new players.
totally fine, because it's supposed to be simple advice for new RPG players.
Exactly.
And not just D&D, but like in general.
Yeah.
Totally.
Which I heavily appreciate, and might keep this in the back of my mind, like bookmarked away for if I convince someone else to play TTRPGs.
Yeah, totally. This is definitely something that you can send to anybody that you think might be interested, and have them, like, you know, get a little bit more interested, hopefully. Very cool. Wholesome, yes. My wizard was hit with 9 damage last week. My max HP is 10. The life, it flashed before your eyes. Your very short life.
The life of a caster. Oh, man. I also had a caster once. He's in an iron tube now. He's not irradiated. He just died.
That's true. Level 1 summed up. Yes. My strength was reduced by 1. Well, you know.
That's level 1 in a nutshell, and the entire lifespan of your character in Call of Cthulhu in a nutshell.
Yeah, true.
Sorry, I keep bringing up Call of Cthulhu.
No, you're fine. So yeah, that was that video. Go check the dude out. Check out the channel. Shut the fuck up. It'll be in the description of the VOD when that comes. But right now, if you want to go find him, that's Tabletop Theory. Not hard to find. He's maybe it's harder to find. I don't know, but this was a very small channel, so I don't know. Give him a look. Anyway, so that being said, let's move on to comments. Hey, because we're gonna try it in the middle. Okay. So let me switch over here. There we go. So we have a couple of comments, only a couple, and one of them being Lux. So, so the first one is from a little mongoose.
Ooh, I love your name.
Yeah. Put a timestamp. I fixed this timestamp. Sorry it took so long. I had to help clean a house. And now this is referring to, hey, little mongoose, what's up? Here in the chat. This is referring to a comment that was left on the Fate video that we did.
Okay. I remember we didn't have good opinions of that.
Not that Fate video. It's a different Fate video. You weren't there for that one.
Okay.
Yes.
I was there for one of our Fate videos.
Yes. And it was in reference to, actually, let me see if I can find the original comment really quick here. I think I can just search your username and find it. Yes. So Here you go. So originally this was on episode 27. I guess you were there. You probably weren't there for that beginning video. But this was the original comment was, well, there is a fruit called tuna, more commonly called prickly pear, which was in reference to Aiden bringing up a space fruit that was like, you know, something weird, and then so it was in reference to that. So now we know. Okay. Hey. Thank you for the comment. Other than that, Lux posted on last episode saying, repost because YouTube spat an error at me when I tried to edit. Good discussion from you, but on my end, even after all that editing, I still garbled what I was trying to say as predicted. I'm going to have to try that again. So, true, people in Lovecraft go insane because of the intensity and strangeness of what they experience. So that's more believable to me than I gave it credit for in my previous comment. I could potentially disturb some people myself just by being too open in public about my own weirdness, so I don't doubt that actual aliens could have an even more pronounced version of that effect. However, Lovecraft's writing is deeper than just, hey, wouldn't it be scary if this happened? I mean, sure, it would be, but that is completely outside the realm of what my experience in the real world tells me is possible. I leave enough room for the degree of uncertainty, but no evidence has ever suggested to me that anything similar to the Cthulhu mythos exists in the real world. So on its own, that level of the story is good for entertainment, but it doesn't really contribute to an understanding of the human condition. Okay. The actual valuable part of Lovecraft's writing is the exploration of the concept that human existence is meaningless. And I like that he does that. That is a truth that needs to be discussed. His exploration of that concept raises his writing to the level of great literature. My only contention is that I disagree with his reaction to that truth. He sees it as a source of horror, while I see it as a preferable to the alternative for the reason I already discussed in the previous comment. Though, there is one point where I do have to say that you misunderstood me. Very good. I wasn't saying that you have no freedom in the Lovecraft universe. I was saying that humanity's lack of cosmic significance gives us freedom. As far as the universe is concerned, you are free to do anything you want in both Cthulhu world and the real world. That's true.
Yes. Absolutely. I think a lot of people get like the horror and fear response out of that because when you think about your, we'll call it powerlessness in this aspect, a lot of people don't like the feeling of not being in control. You know, it's the whole devil you know versus devil you don't. And I think that's where a lot of people get a lot of fear from it. But it's the same kind of... The people that get very, very scared about the Cthulhu mythos are the same kind of people that really get up in arms about things on the news that they can't do anything about. You know what I mean? It's that type of response. And so I am not really that way. I'm too apathetic and too cynical about shit like that. But I think that's a big place of where that comes from.
Right.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's actually true. But I feel like that's right. I sound like I'm right.
And you know what? I will believe me.
Okay. That's good. But yeah, that's just me.
I think it boils down to interpretation, I guess, of how Lovecraft views the world and how people would respond.
Yes.
Because Lovecraft, surprise, surprise, is going to imagine other people would respond how he would respond.
Yes, exactly.
And
from what he knows.
Yeah.
I think the fact that H.P. Lovecraft wrote that people would go insane or go into like a frenzy at seeing something that they like disagree with or like can't comprehend or don't like, and that would mentally ruin them. Is Lovecraft unintentionally calling himself out?
Yeah.
Yes, it could very well be.
Very much so.
Because
yeah,
I actually a few days ago I was like just hanging out in the lab with like I just had to wait around for a bit, and I happened across a thing about Lovecraft, and I remember it said that Lovecraft's wife, who ironically was Jewish, Howard Lovecraft's wife said that when they would walk down New York together and he would get exposed to the very racially diverse crowds of New York, he would literally shake with rage.
Damn.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise, considering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's just the minutia of a mentally ill man that were responsible for him, or that informed, I guess, his decisions of the characters in his stories, that they saw something they couldn't comprehend and went into a frenzy and then went insane.
Yeah.
That's
you also
a pet theory of mine, but
yeah, because you like I wholeheartedly agree. Where you kind of have to. Sometimes you forget when you enjoy someone's work so much. Sometimes you kind of forget that Lovecraft was mentally ill.
Right.
Yeah, a bit of a bastard.
Yeah, he was kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, we separate art from the artist a lot.
Yes,
because why wouldn't you?
D&D is good. Wizards of the Coast.
Exactly. So you separate that stuff, and like it's important to know where it came from. Obviously, like you can, but like again, you can separate it. You know,
yeah. Just because you like Lovecraft doesn't mean you have to agree with his philosophies.
Exactly. And the amount of interpretation that's come from, or sorry, fleshing of the themes and such that has come from his writing has obviously been more beneficial. Less racism.
Yes, less racism.
Though Evil Hat Productions would have you believe otherwise.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Just because you like At the Mountains of Madness does not mean you hate black people.
Exactly.
I don't think there are any black people even in the Mountains of Madness. Spoilers.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there's not. Because it was a bunch.
All right, fine. Just because you read The Rats in the Walls doesn't mean you hate black people.
That's a good one for that. Yup.
That one
actually
doesn't
haven't
have black. It doesn't have black people in it, but it has a curiously named cat.
Yep, it's bad.
I know the cat. I know the cat.
Anyway, yeah. So. Well, it's another thing for like there were, and I don't know if these have been substantiated or not, but I know there was a bunch of stuff on Joss Whedon a while ago.
Oh, okay.
And
really?
Yeah, he's a bastard apparently, like real bad.
If it is true.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't.
Well, I didn't know if you said that it wasn't confirmed.
I don't know. I personally don't know.
Okay.
I didn't look into it because I don't give a fuck about the man. Right?
Yeah. Right.
But
what was the?
Oh, he's really bad towards like his actors. Sorry, women specifically as well.
Okay.
And I've heard that.
He'd scream at them and all that kind of shit. Like the way he treated what's her name? Christina?
No.
What?
Wasn't there some shit that he did to the Miranda Cosgrove?
Joss Whedon?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't think I think you're thinking of Dan Schneider.
Perhaps.
Yeah, because he was the iCarly guy.
He was, but I could have sworn I had thought I'd heard something.
I don't know. If you can find me a resource.
Yeah.
I am busy playing Destiny, so
that's what I
refuse.
And
I'm busy playing
Division.
The Division.
The
other D game.
But
I'm busy paying attention. I mean,
I'm
also paying attention, you shitter.
what I was gonna say is that I can separate the man from his work because, like, fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer is fucking great. Firefly is fucking great. You know, the Avengers, the original Avengers, and, like, a lot of the Marvel stuff that he was a part of is really good.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the man, the art itself is good. And, like, I can separate him from that. But that doesn't mean that I'm not ignorant to it. Right? Yeah. Like, just like with Lovecraft, not ignorant to how he was a horrible man, but
yeah,
I like what he made. Neat,
exactly.
You know?
But his cat, though.
The cat's dead.
And you hate black people if you like Lovecraft. Right? Like, it's...
yeah.
Anyway. It's really annoying.
Well, you know what? If you don't like Lovecraft, then you don't like racists.
I am small-minded and cannot imagine someone would be able to separate the artist from the art.
Yeah.
Because much like Lovecraft did, I involuntarily call myself out.
Oh! Anyway, big tangent. So
a fun one at least.
Yeah, oh yeah. What are we talking about? Oh yeah. Where you would not be free is in a world where human life does have objective meaning. Really.
Mm-hmm.
If you were born to a higher you're talking about predetermined, like, destiny.
Yes, he's talking about predetermination and the nature of cosmic horror in and of itself.
Now,
what's in... Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna... Yeah. If you're born to a higher purpose, then it's your moral obligation to fulfill that purpose. In the real world, if you fail at something you're trying to do, you'll have only failed to attain your own personal desires. And you have the option to either try again or re-examine your priorities, depending on what you think is best. In a universe that cares about what you do, you may still have the ability to turn back and walk away from your ordained, purpose. But the choice to do so is objectively wrong. So, ironically, the fact that what you do matters to the universe means that what you personally want doesn't matter. Basically, it means you get in the fucking robot, Shinji. Anyway, yes, in my opinion, it's a good thing that the latter of those two worlds is not the real world. I mean, I want to be dark and edgy about the state of reality, but the universe refuses to justify that for me. Fair. And there are actually two versions of that movie about the animals that have traveled across the country. The one where they talk was called Homeward Bound, and the older one was called The Incredible Journey. Where they didn't,
the one I was thinking of was Homeward Bound.
Yeah, where they actually didn't talk. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking of that too. You're right. The action taking place on screen was accompanied by narration, but the animals were not really presented as human characters in that one. I would say that the older one was worth something from an artistic standpoint, whereas the newer one was mostly just empty calories. Not bad, but not a lot of value.
Yeah, because I think I saw it when I was, like, really little.
Yeah.
So.
Good evening, gents. Time for live stream while playing Resident Evil 7. You guys will either take the edge off the horror or magnify it, says Steely.
We'll probably take the edge off.
Yeah, probably.
We're not good at accentuating horror unless I'm writing it.
Not in a live format.
I shouldn't say that. I need to stop stroking myself.
Not in what we're doing right now. It's not a horror-themed kind of thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of empty artistic calories, I'm just going to do a total mood whiplash and bring up the Mario movie. Okay.
Huzzah!
You were talking about it on the painting stream, but I'll put this here to save the expense of an extra comment. Data doesn't grow on trees, you know. Fair. So it's actually something that I'm a little bit excited to see. Mind you, I don't really expect it to be more than just okay, but in this case, I don't need it to be more than just okay. Even if it's a little bad, I'll take it. Fair?
Yeah.
All I need is to recover the sanity I lost in the Great Dumpster Fire of '93. I need to see a Mario movie that's actually a Mario movie. Having it be animated, even if it's CGI, is already an objectively correct decision. Yes. Having the Mushroom Kingdom not be a garbage city covered with an alien fungal slime is a brilliant decision by the writers. Well, you mean actually adapting the property? That's crazy.
Oh my God.
To be more faithful, at least. Having Bowser not be a human with a ridge on the top of his head is a work of absolute creative genius. Excuse me, it was his hair?
No, it was his hair.
I'm simply amazed that someone in Hollywood was able to look at the concept of a Mario movie and decide to make a movie about something that people who play Mario would actually recognize. What a concept. Hey, what do you mean? I recognize the Mario brothers in the Mario movie.
Yeah, they look like... they
didn't look that bad. I mean...
They look like Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, this is John Leguizamo.
But...
I don't remember who the other guy was.
Yeah.
I don't know who Mario was. I just know John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Whoops. Anyway, the one I saw as a child led me out into the woods, slit my throat wide open, and left me to rot and be torn apart by wolves. I don't expect this one to be great, but unless they find a way to just absolutely ruin it, it will fill a void that was created in my soul decades ago. You know what? I'll ruin it a little bit for you right now. You want to know a quote from Chris Pratt?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yup. He said, he's not gonna do an Italian voice because Mario's not Italian anymore. He's normal now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I be offended by that?
Yeah, probably a little
I feel
bit.
like I should be offended by
Probably
that.
a little bit, my Italian friend.
I've never been offended by anything, like legitimately.
No, it's not like it's. I assume. I hope it's just a bad like it's not intentional to be anything, right? I would assume. But man, what a choice of words. What a choice of words.
Yeah.
The fact that Chris Pratt attends a church that is super anti-abortion and like hardcore fundamentalist Christian is getting thrown in a different context for me.
Jesus Christ.
Let me just find the quote itself just to make sure I'm not butchering it or anything.
Oh boy.
Because I want to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting this at all.
Yeah, I get
because this is important to not misrepresent.
Yeah. If I may, at the quote, Mamma Mia! Because I can say that shit.
Yeah,
I don't, but I can.
It's funny though. Mario voice. I gotta find it.
He's not Italian. He's normal.
Yeah, it's
I know.
It's not good.
To be fair, I know a total of 2 Italians. My friend Mike and
me.
Boo.
Yeah.
Of all of the Italians I know, neither one of them is normal.
It's true.
Sorry, what the fuck is this? Hold on. Okay, yeah, no, it's right here in a fucking Daily Squat article. There's a whole lot more to this. Sorry.
Oh boy.
I don't. Oh god. Okay, so this is okay. So it says. Actor Chris Pratt has confirmed that he will play the role of Mario in his normal voice, stating, "Mario isn't Italian anymore, he's normal now," end quote. The star of Parks and Rec and Guardians of the Galaxy was considered a surprising choice to play Mario in the forthcoming Super Mario Bros. Animated movie. But Pratt doesn't believe his casting should be thought of as a shock at all. Nintendo told me, this is in quotes, Nintendo told me that they want to move away from Mario being Italian. He's not Italian anymore. He's normal now. I think this is a massive leap forward in the representation of normal people, a demographic that's been incredibly neglected recently, Pratt told us. I'm sorry, sir. Keep digging. Ever the perfectionist, though, Pratt says that he's been working on his Mario voice for up to 6 hours a day to prepare for the role. It's mainly just me talking to myself about how much I hate animals and the gays, he admitted.
Okay, this has to be
a satire. This has to be a satire. Yeah. This can't be real. This can't be real.
Yeah. I hope to God it's not.
Yeah, no, this is satire. Okay, no, we're at a point of satire.
Way in hell.
There it is. Okay, no, this is not a thing. This is not a thing.
Because the thing that I was gonna say, it's not like a big rant or anything.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If it was real, it was real, Mario, isn't Italian. Mario, yeah, that's not an Italian name.
Yeah, no, this is,
you know, it's like saying fucking, I don't know, Alejandro isn't Hispanic.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, no, this has to be satire.
Yeah, like Dear God, better be.
That's a bad one.
That's a bad one. Yeah.
That's a bad one still.
That's again, Mamma Mia.
I mean, it doesn't take away from the whole, you know, what he actually like believes in thing. That one's a little, but it's another whole issue.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing that we're not
yes.
paid to do that.
Yeah, no. Okay. I'm glad that we have confirmed that this is not a thing.
Yeah,
because that's fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's sad. Yeah, I have more things of like this being satire, this being just a shit post. Okay, we're good.
Very good.
I apologize. I'm glad.
You were very nearly an older person on Facebook.
Exactly. I'm very glad that I have done research. Let us now hopefully not have that be taken out of context. I can't wait. Nobody watches the show.
Yeah, nobody watches this fucking podcast.
So it's me, Chris
I was
Pratt.
almost damn it. I was almost offended.
You were almost allowed to be.
Yeah. I was almost allowed to be offended. Defended.
Both. This is important, everybody. Check your sources. Okay. Yes. Pizza Funk. Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're doing more than most of what the news does. So
most articles
in checking your sources.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm not Italian, but being Catholic, our headquarters is in Italy, and also someone who likes Italian food. I have to give my support to Italians as normal, or even better than normal. Yeah. With the actual fuck, there's no way. Yes. It's only satire. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That satire was something else. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. No, it's not great. Not a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing. It's not good satire.
It's not a good one. No. Anyway. Oops. Okay. So let's go back to comments.
It's no harddrive.net where
no,
like, or actually no, it is in that like you couldn't tell it was fake at first.
Yeah, that's true. It is like that, definitely. Because like at this point, I don't fucking know, man. You know?
Yeah, it's honestly so hard to know now.
Yeah. Anyway, so now that we're off that huge tangent, yeah, it was a trip of a tangent. You're right. So. Bop, bop, bop. Here we go. Also, I don't know why Chris Pratt was their choice to do Mario's voice, but he'll either figure something decent out, or we'll get some meme fuel out of it. True.
That's true.
What mostly concerns me about that decision is that they've spent the money on an A-list celebrity instead of much less expensive and equally talented voice actor, when the difference could have been spent on better production value. The funny thing is they still have Charles Martinet in the fucking cast, so of course
Waluigi. Oh wait, no, he's not in anything.
No, they actually do plan on having Wario and Waluigi on it.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a picture of Waluigi. You fucking watch.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't know this Charles Martinet.
Charles Martinet is the voice. Charles Martinet is the voice of Mario, like, and Luigi and Wario and Waluigi.
He's the voice of basically everybody in the Mario universe.
Yep. He's the actual voice actor. Voice actor. Okay. Yeah. And he has under everybody else is billing in the fucking posters and shit. He's. Yeah, I don't know why they got the actual voice of Mario to not be the voice of Mario, but met him at GDC. He's cool, dude. He sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah,
he sounds like he super loves just being Mario, and it's great.
Yeah.
If only Prince could voice a Boo. Nice.
No.
Maybe he's just gonna be a cameo like Stan Lee was. I hope. Oh man, you're probably right.
Yeah.
He did your voicemail. That's sick.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Of course, even if I'm the only person in the entire theater watching the movie, that's fine. Oh, you're not gonna be. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Private screening and no need to cringe when they inevitably do a super adult joke in a children's movie. I can't wait.
It's gonna be Toad. You know it's gonna be
Toad. Yeah. Anyway, that's just my feeling on that. Sometimes a person just really needs to roll around in some garbage. I apologize for existing. Let's just forget this ever happened. No, you're right. You're right.
I love that. I love that
You're
turn
right.
of phrase. Sometimes you just need to roll around in a pile of garbage.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Oh, God.
Oh, Prince the artist would be cool. I mean, Prince Boo, though. Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Actually have
man.
Boo voice a Boo. That'd be hilarious.
No, I can't.
I would laugh, honestly.
I know you would.
I would laugh a lot. On another minor point, we're just in Tangent City, basically. The original XCOM games did need to be difficult. They were meant to be scary games, and their difficulty was a big part of how they were about scaring you. That's true. Getting comfortable is not allowed. If you lose, you're treated to one of the most miserable game over sequences ever created. If you want to get through the game and avoid seeing humanity get absolutely fucked, you have to stay on your toes and not get sloppy. Every move you make is a gamble with dire consequences on the line.
Yeah.
Your instincts will tell you that to act cautiously because you're being overwhelmed, but you need to throw some courage into your decisions to actually advance. Then you must advance before the game starts too many fires for you to put out. It wouldn't work if the game could become easy for you. Plus, it's more of a war simulator than just a game. True.
That is very true.
Much more so than the newer versions are. War is hard. War against an alien race with technology far in advance of our own is in fact quite hard. So I would say the newer ones are hard if you play them on hard. Like, you just gotta up that difficulty, my man. I
mean, everybody I've ever seen playing the game always plays on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Also, if you want a name for that genre, I don't know if there's an official one, but I'd call it a strategic command simulation, though I wouldn't include Valkyria Chronicles under that heading. That one's more of a tactical RPG, and I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's true.
And now, for the actual topic of RPG design. Hey! Hang on, before
I missed that game. It's really fun.
Yeah. The real question is if they are going to feature the Do the Mario song and dance from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Oh my god, I would love that.
I fucking wish, dude.
I would love that.
Swing your arms from side to side.
God damn it. I would love that.
It would be so good. Anyway.
In the worst way.
In the worst way. I would honestly...
And it would be so bad in the best way.
Yes, absolutely.
Just start the movie. That's the opening credits song. Anyway, sorry. God damn it, now I can't get that image out of my head.
I don't suppose I have a lot to add here in the way of general advice. I've taken a few shots at creating an RPG, but I always lose my steam after a while and stop working on it. That's fair. Why do you want to make it is a question you could ask, but I think the more useful question is, what do you want this RPG to do? Basically, do you want it to be used for a specific type of scenario? Do you want it to be tied to a particular setting? Or do you want players to be able to find their characters in a relatively unlimited number of scenarios? Like GURPS, basically. Is there a particular genre of fiction you want to tie it to, or do you want it to be universally viable? Do you want to provide players with a lot of clear direction in what they can do and what kind of characters they can make, or do you want character creation to be a more open discussion between the player and GM? Having clear answers to those questions will inform the decisions you're going to make through the rest of the design process. So in Guy's yes-no system, I assume he's committed to keeping it fully yes-no all the way through. But I feel like if I were to pick up designing that system from there, I would rather just stick to the yes-no system for all non-combat challenges, but have a separate numerical system for combat. That strikes me as the simplest approach, really. And I would agree with that. We were talking about that. Combat is too complex for it to just be a yes-no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Mario might be the credits thing with rap cover of it, lol. Oh, you're right. That would be amazing. You'll see the new show, Calamari Olympics Squid Game. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna watch it at some point. It's one of those things that's topping the charts and shit because it's like good media, and good media is always fun to find. Anyway, though I haven't seen it myself, so I don't know if it's like actually really good or not.
Not like Star Wars.
I've been told I've been told good things from people that I trust, so anyway. If you stick with yes no for combat, I can see it basically turning into a game of 4D rock paper scissors. Yeah. that wouldn't be the worst possible thing, but I can't see a lot of back and forth between what skills the opposing characters have, and a lot of looking rules up to make sure everything works the way you think it does. Ultimately, it could end up being slower than just rolling for numbers. Also, it would be nice to be able to get a bunch of strangers to play test your game, but most of us don't really have that luxury. You might just have to try to get your friends to run it and drag some feedback out of them. So, he was talking about an online resource, I will say, that you could do it with.
Don't remember what it was, because he mentioned it by name.
Yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
It was like DM's Guild or something?
No, it was something else. But, regardless, like, at this point, I would say that finding a bunch of strangers to do something for you is not as difficult as it sounds. I don't know. I feel like putting that... The internet is crazy, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that the internet exists makes it so that it's entirely possible for you to do that. Now, whether or not the feedback is very good is entirely something you can't control, and whether or not they actually play it entirely as, you know, the game is designed or intended, right? Like, that is also up in the air.
But I mean, I suppose that if you can just try to ask them, like, try to break it.
Right, exactly.
And then tell me how you broke it.
Yes, exactly.
Please.
So, and like with those kinds of communities, I feel like it's a lot easier to find people that are willing to do that for you than it would be for you to ask complete random strangers, in the sense of like going on a forum on fucking Facebook and going, hey, well, no, even Facebook has those communities. Like, you know what I mean? You can find those specific RPG communities anywhere and get them to do something, hopefully, because you're gonna get some people who are gung-ho about it. Anyway, for feedback, it helps to not ask questions that are too open-ended. Questions like, what did you think? Did you see any problems? And that kind of thing is too open-ended. You need to try to make an educated guess on what parts of the game could possibly need improvement, and specifically ask players for their thoughts on those areas. Did a particular rule make sense? Was it too complicated? Did it not give you enough information? If someone would just go over your system with a fine-tooth comb and give honest criticism on their own initiative, that would be great. But you can't count on finding someone to do that, so you might have to put some work into getting the feedback you're after. And those are thoughts that can come into mind on that topic. We'll go ahead and call this thing done. Nice.
Yeah. You can also run into players that you'll say, like, did this rule make sense? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, or I disagreed with this rule or whatever. Example, Scott Garibay, S. Garibay, Scarabay, one might say. That is his Halloween name. That will tell you that having books equals you're smart.
Yes.
Exactly. But even so, then you know their feedback is not as good.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it's a wasted time trial.
True. Yes. Everyone's talking about Chris Pratt, but Jack Black is my favorite actor ever. That's fair. Jack Black is cool. He's a cool guy.
No, he should be fine.
Yeah. He'll have fun with it, and that's what I'll like about it.
Yeah.
About his performance.
So you're telling me that in the Super Mario Brothers universe, Bowser is the best character, and in the movie, it's going to be Bowser is the best character.
Yeah, always. I always think
so. It's going to be like normal.
I always think
that. If they don't have a Bowsette reference.
Oh, you think they might?
I think they probably will. You know, that's going to be the adult joke.
Oh.
I don't think they will, but I would be
surprised.
Elated to see it.
Yeah, it would be kind of funny, honestly. I would laugh a little bit, and then I'd go, eh. Anyway, so that was all the comments. And now, since it is the midpoint still, technically, let's move straight into the shoutouts and the shilling. Hey, wow, very cool.
Buy me back for blood, please.
Oh, goddamn.
Done.
Shut up. Jack Black is gonna have so much fun in that role. We all know it. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
He has fun, I think, in every role he plays.
Yeah, he's having a great time. Holy crap, Jack Black voicing Bowsette.
Oh God,
That'd be funny.
that actually would be fucking hilarious.
So, we are brought to you, of course, by our lovely patrons. Yes, Table Flippers represent, absolutely. Don't forget as well, if you want to, the tier has been added of a $1 tier, and if you want to go down a tier into $1 or up or whatever the fuck you want, do it. You know, it's up to your prerogative, but please remember to be financially responsible, fiscally aware, if you will. Anyway, so brought to you by our lovely patrons, which you are doing a great thing for us for the future. You're going to be getting a thing, hopefully, when Season 4 becomes a thing. Haha. Ooh, there's another little teaser for you. So that being said, our
fourth edition,
patrons,
when we release 4th edition.
When we release 4th edition, that's true. That being said, our patrons are Draco Kraken at tier 4 now, because all the tiers have been bumped. So thank you very much for that $15. Appreciate ya. Mog Zero also at that tier 4. Thank you so much. We have Slay. Oh, I would watch a 4E one shot. Oh yeah. Slazer at tier 4 as well. Been in the chat. Thank you very much. We have Steely, of course, also been in the chat. At tier 4. Thank you. We have Drake Cross at tier 3. Or sorry, did I say tier 3 before? Tier 4? Anyway, you can see the things. You're at the tiers. I appreciate you regardless of whatever tier you're at.
Yes.
Thank you, Drake Cross at the tier 3, $10. Appreciate you. Chris at tier 2 with $5. Thank you very much.
I think it's Kristen Pratt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Frozen Spaghetti also at tier 2. Thank you so much for the $5. And Kill Chrono at tier 2, rounding it off with that $5 donation. Thank you. Prince Pooh voicing Bowsette. Whoa.
No.
Other than this, of course,
cough that hard.
Sorry, I'm my fucking throat. Other than that, of course, we do have the stuff on TeePublic, which I'm trying to find another place to put things. We'll see how it goes, because I want more availability for some things, because just the t-shirts and the everything that's here is good, but also I'm thinking like there might be some other things that are more specialized, and if I can set up a shop itself that can be on our website, which by the way we have a website. Hey, if you don't know that, TableTalk DND .us. Hey, it'll be in the description of the VOD, and in the description of the audio only and everything. All the links are in the description. If you ever just look at it. God damn it.
Nobody looks at the description.
I know, that's why. But if I can set up something that's just linked to that would be great. Booze it. That's a thing already.
Well, I mean, that's a thing.
That's a thing already. Yes, it is. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just Boo and Drag.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's always Bo from fucking Paper Mario.
That's true. So there's hopefully we'll have some more things in the future, but there will be something specific coming that we might have to forego a thing like this, and I might have to figure out and set something up and see how that goes. But regardless of that, this is here for now. For all you OGs that have already seen it, and I know Steely has some stuff. This will be here for now. We'll announce when it's gone, because it'll be moved over to another place potentially. Yes. Anyway, so other than that, let me think. Anything else of that nature? No. No, nothing else other than that. And the if you haven't done the survey thing, that's in the description right now. And it's on our Discord.
If you do a survey, you're able to print off a coupon and get you a free Big Mac.
That's not true. Well, if you do the survey,
Try it and find out.
If you do the survey, you'll actually have a say in some of the stuff that's coming. Because
and we actually are listening.
Yes, I'm actually looking at it and listening to it because...
You know how we did the comments a little bit further in this time? Well, that's because someone was like, hey, stop doing so many comments because they're so fucking long, Lux.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I know. I just...
And, like, it was echoing a thought that I'd already had of, like, we should probably move these later on because otherwise people coming straight in are going to go, man, they're taking a long time to get to the topic. But no, we're taking a long time to get to the second part of the topic.
Yes.
Or maybe we'll do it at the end, because we're going to trial run that next week. See. But
I am thinking it might be more optimal to put at the end, given that those who care about, like, viewer interaction and stuff will listen to the end.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus if more casual listeners will just want their content uninterrupted.
That's also true. But yeah, so look forward to that. Now, we're going to move on to the second video of the night. As I move this shit around here and then load up the second video. It is called 7 Habits of Highly Effective D&D Players, Dungeons & Dragons Player Tips. By Nerdarchy.
Are you one of them?
Are you
buy a Ridge wallet?
I do actually want to buy one, you know?
God damn it!
It's getting me. It actually got me a little bit, I'll be honest. It actually got me a little bit.
What did the Ridge wallet?
Just people talking about them, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like $80.
They're the metal ones, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, a Ridge wallet. No, wait, no, it is a metal wallet.
Yeah. It is a real wallet, and it's like made of metal and shit.
Oh no, I know it's real. I forgot if it was metal or not.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
I'm so used to seeing metal credit cards from fucking Trevor Wallace. He's like, because he's always like fucking talking about how broke other people are because he doesn't have a metal credit card. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a Nerdarchy video. It's I don't think it's that old. I think it's like, let me check real quick here. It is 2 years old. So 2019. So let's see what they have to say about players.
Let me ask you a question. Do you want to totally be a better role player?
Yeah.
Question. What do you all think about the term, like, highly effective role players? Sorry, highly effective D&D players.
Yeah, so I assume what we're talking about is... So I don't know. We're either going a direction of optimization, or we're going a direction of role-playing very well.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to know, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes, anyway.
It's a catchy word. I'll give you that. You know, it'll tell. Yeah. It makes people go, "Oh, I'm efficient," or "I want to be more efficient," and so they'll click on the video. So.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what I see.
I'm here or there about it. It seems harmless for now.
Yeah, if we go into just like something ridiculous, then I go, but at the moment it is like I don't know where we're going with it.
Yeah,
I'm just not 1,000,000,000% in love with the title.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Sorry. What would be cool if this channel did a watch along of the Dungeons and Dragons movie from 2000 or the 1983 one, whichever one is worse. It's on the docket at some point. Don't worry.
I've seen a clip of the 1983 one.
Yeah,
blue lipstick.
It's on the docket. Don't worry. We'll get there at some point when we have time. If not a Big Mac, maybe a free Boo Mac. Oh, look, the cops are here to take me away from being criminally unfunny. I like that.
FBI open up. Jesus.
Use your rich wallet to pay for Nord Shadow Legends.
Yeah!
Thank you, Steely.
That's really good. Shit.
The words highly effective gives me slight PTSD from my time as a teacher. I've come to hate it. Well, there you go. It's a reference to a book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Good book. If it's anything like Kobe. Kobe?
Oh, I thought you were going to say if it's anything like COVID. I'm like,
Kobe's ideas, it would actually be useful for RPGs. Things like seek to understand before being understood and win or no deal. Okay. Well, if that's the case, I don't know if that... So, first off, reference that only you got.
Yeah, and that's kind of already off
which
to
is
a kind
fine.
of bad-ish
Like,
start.
it's...
I am perfectly willing to accept that I am just the stupid one.
And yes, that's what I'm saying. It's fine if this is a reference to something. I don't think it matters at that point. The thing is that I'm 40. Well, you know... Still.
Well, what I'm saying though is if it is a reference though, then it gets the go ahead, the full send.
So regardless of it being a reference or not, it doesn't matter to me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like it ultimately, if I got the reference, neat. If I didn't get the reference, it's just something that I have to interpret as the title itself, you know? In which I still get the whole, I don't know where we're going with it.
Yeah, I do. So do you sometimes...
Oh, by the way, this is a skit, and this is all I've seen.
Well, there are times.
Well then, just dial 555-2368. Do other players sometimes laugh at your feeble role-playing attempts? Don't worry about it, my friend, because we've got the program for you, and you. All you have to do, while the supplies last, limited time only, dial 555-2368 so you can grab your copy of 7 Habits of Highly Effective Role Players today.
Is that to make it so that it's the reference to the book?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense now that I know that it was a reference to a book. Before that, it made no sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Nerdarchus Dave here from Nerdarchy for Nerds.
It's not gonna hit for
today
everyone,
I'm hanging out with
basically.
this nerd.
Nerdarchus Ted.
Hey, do you want practical D&D content you can drop right into your game?
If the answer is yes, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to tune.
Is
to the
that a
notification
fucking
bell
dragon?
so you don't miss a single
We're kind of...
Up in the the exact middle. You
Yes,
see the
that's-
blue dragon up there? Right to the right of it. Is that a fucking
Yeah.
dragon? What's it called?
It's
Pop.
it's yeah,
Funko Pop, that's it.
it's World of Warcraft Cataclysm.
Oh, Deathwing.
Yes, Deathwing. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's been there in like most of their videos.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it because I'm looking at that 3-headed dragon miniature thing up there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is that? It looks cool.
Goofing off the idea of seven
it's supposed to be
seven habits for highly
Yeah, it's
effective people
TMF.
here, but we're going to take that and kind
Does
of
it have
turn
5
around.
heads?
He said 7 habits for highly effective people.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it does have 5 heads. My bad.
Yeah. I want to actually catch that because I didn't hear it.
7 habits for effective people here, but we're
Okay.
going to take that and kind of turn it around and into tools that you can actually use for role playing and playing Dungeons and Dragons and becoming better at gaming in general.
All right, so we're gonna break this down. We're gonna look at all 7, tips, how they apply to D&D, and kind of get into some of the things where we've already used or seen how that could be helpful in a D&D game.
So habit number 1, be proactive.
All right, so this is one of those things where I'm certain at your table, whether you're the GM, whether you're the player, you've heard the phrase, all right, well, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? This is a good tool as a GM, but if you're a player, you don't need to wait for the GM to ask. You should have a list of ideas of things that your character wants to do. Do you have character goals? Do you have things that you want to see happen, make happen, whether it be, just go down and talk to that barmaid and, see if you can get a date, or whether it's, okay, I want to go find this ancient dwarven relic and restore power and fame to my family line. These things are quests, great and small, and if you have these things, then you are going to be a better D&D player.
I agree.
Yeah, it's real simple. Don't wait for your DM to drop plots on you. Go out there and look for the hooks and create your own.
Tip number 2.
Okay. So I agree entirely. What I will say is that usually when I wait for the DM to tell me what do I want to do, that's because I'm waiting to have a moment where I can do something like that.
Yeah, especially if you're playing under me where there's no downtime.
Well, no,
Sorry.
it's no, you're fine. So it's more just like usually I'm doing whatever's in front of me for now, and then once I'm given a moment of like a moment just to say, okay, you've done that thing that you did already. You know, that's where you're at. Now what do you want to do, right?
Yes.
And at that point, then I started enacting my character goals, you know? And like, it's one of those things where I definitely have seen and know of people that do that, in the sense of they aren't proactive about it. They don't have it. What seems like they don't have any goals set for their character. They're just waiting for these things to drop, and it's incredibly frustrating for me personally, because it becomes we pan over to the character, and what are they doing? Oh, I'm not doing anything. You can go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's fine if you want to do nothing. That's totally fine if that's what you want to do in this moment. But if you do nothing every single time, you know, like it makes me go, what does your character want? And are they just here for the main story?
Yeah.
You know? And it makes me then like believe in the character less, if that makes sense, you know?
Because it's not human. It's not human.
It
Everybody has a
2D,
motivation to do something.
Yeah, it becomes
hell,
more 2D.
even if it's as simple as, I want to go and get a good meal.
Yeah.
You know? That's fucking easy. It's like, man, we just got back from this long trip. I have a craving for potatoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like nice roasted potatoes.
Well, then and then you're even setting something into motion that could potentially lead to something.
Yeah,
right?
now the final boss turns out to be a gigantic potato monster.
Yeah, he's a big potato man now.
So
Potate McHate.
God damn it. Jesus Christ. So I actually both agree and also relate on both sides of the table. In the campaign where I am a DM, every week without fail, I will set the scene and help describe what happened last week, or let someone else describe what happened last week, and I'll set the scene for where they are, how the day is so far, how they slept, and then I'll say silence, 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 and then I go, okay, what do you guys want to do?
Right.
It's like pulling teeth.
Yes.
And with regards to the whole like, oh, my character's not doing anything, I have a campaign that I'm in where we have a character like that that is frankly a self-insert.
Okay. Oh,
fun.
And if it doesn't interest my friend, it doesn't interest my friend's character.
Yeah.
Oof.
And they will just stand there and do the functional equivalent of staring at a wall until there's something to hit.
Yep.
Yes. It's like how we always make the joke where if a player goes like off to the bathroom but something is still going on, we always make the joke that your character is now mindlessly drooling and just walking, following people like a zombie. That's always fun.
No, yeah, it's incredibly frustrating, because then I even as a player go, I don't have a reason to have any interaction with you as a player, right? Because like you're already giving me that vibe of like you have nothing that you want to do with this like town, this game, this whatever
this whole world
is. Yeah, like the vibe is just, it's dead. And I'm over here going, shit, my character wants to do this, and you know, if you're gonna be there in the same space, then hey, I'm gonna talk to you and shit, and you know, or be secretive from you, or you know, give you a half answer, or you know, it could be anything that then becomes like, hey, our characters can interact and talk together and maybe establish a rapport, and fucking in the future maybe we have more things that we can talk about that build off of this, right? But when it's just, you give me a fucking brick wall, you're giving me a hard fucking brick wall, and I go, I don't want to scale this, thank you. I don't want to even walk around it, man. Like, that's just, I don't understand why you've erected this wall.
Because the thing is, you've erected this wall, and I have the sneaking suspicion that there's not anything behind it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna find a cardboard
nothing
cutout
there.
right there.
Yeah.
Just propped up against the wall. So yeah, I think even for a new player, like having your character have something that they work towards, even if it's very minor, like they want to craft a little statue, right? Like
Yes.
let's take Zeke's thing, where he did woodworking and he crafted little figurines and shit. Like,
Yes.
you just do that, and that's something you can do, and that's something that if somebody comes upon you, you can talk about, right? And then you can figure out why they like that. Like, there's so much possibility from anything. Anything at all.
It really is. Because, like, you think about it in a more real-world sense.
Yeah.
Me and Alejo, and also Aiden, but he can't afford it, pretty much, if I remember correctly, and also doesn't have the time, making Warhammer minis.
Yes.
And why do you like Warhammer minis, Alejo?
You neglected to mention the patience of painting.
True.
That too.
There's also that.
too. You can always buy an army and then send it off to get paint.
True.
That's cheating.
That's cheating, he says. I've
It
considered
is,
being a
but
dirty cheater. It's fine. But
yeah, why do you like it?
Why do I like it? One, it's plastic crack, and I have a fucking problem. But besides that, I really enjoy the sculpts. They're really like detailed and nice looking, and it really excites me to see them. Like, now that I've painted 2, right?
Yes.
At some point I'm gonna paint more, because it's really exciting to see them kind of come to life in that way.
Yes.
Right? And like actually be able to like be put on a field, and then like have my fucking little guys go, hey, I'm gonna shoot your guys, and then they're gonna die.
I'm gonna have my little guys shoot your little guys, and it's gonna be great.
Exactly.
Maybe.
It's gonna be pretty cool, regardless of the fact of if I win or lose. It's gonna be fun to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's something that you made.
Yeah. A very what?
Orky.
Orky?
Orky.
Oh, Orky, yes. Oh, absolutely, very. And
Oh yeah.
and yeah, and it is also a thing of like I've made, I've put these things together. I didn't technically make it, but I put it together and I assembled it, and it's as close to making it as I can get.
Until you 3D print it.
Right, yeah, unless I 3D print it.
And you made it.
Basically.
Yeah.
And and it's
we would never do that here on
no,
TableTalk.
no. If any GW people are listening,
They're not.
No, God, no.
They don't listen to their fans.
Very good. But it also is something of like, it also reminds me of the lore, where I can like look at that and look at the stories and such that are made from that, and I can make my own story with it, with my own, like with my dynasty for my Necron are going to be the basis is Blackstone is really coveted, really good, really very fucking useful, and that is something that they protect and they seek, right? That is their purpose. And so and it's something that they want to accrue in order to help with the Necron dominance, because Blackstone fucks with Psychers, and man, Psychers suck when you don't have anything to go against them with it. But it's also to help with the whole conquesting against the chaos itself, hoping to drive them back, because as mostly psychic beings, they get fucking all that shit. And like I have fucking
all that just from asking why you like it, and just
Fair.
that one thing. That's all it takes.
I was actually gonna go on even more.
Oh, I know you were, but I gotta stop you because I know it's gonna keep going,
right.
and that was just
You're
a
right.
little question.
You're absolutely
sorry.
correct. No, you're absolutely correct.
Because it's plastic crack and you have a problem.
I have a problem.
I also have a problem, but I have gotten it to the point where I'm like, okay, my pile of shame is never really gotten any smaller, so I'm just gonna finish my pile of shame before I buy more.
Yeah. I actually have fucking glue coming in so that I can base these guys. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, so
yeah, you should talk.
yeah, have
and
your
you should do
characters-
stuff.
have your characters have some, even if it's just a personal motivation of something that's insignificant, it'll be something that you can talk about. And even if you
have
don't
a hobby.
know, yeah, even if you don't know anything like about that hobby other than the baseline, you can make it up as you go, or you can start thinking about it a little bit more, you know, depending on all that shit.
You know what else you could do? You could have your character like card games. I happen to know of 2 that you could play. 2 that were created by someone. Someone's not that talented at making them.
But yeah, so like literally anything. It just, and like if you're having a day where you just don't feel like playing, that's fair enough, right? Like you don't feel like doing something super involved. That's fair enough, you know? Like
because I mean, hell, even you guys have had days like that. I know the days when Boris has been like, I stab him, I stab him, I stab him, and that's fine.
So you know, you don't have to be, you know, on the ball all the time. I'm just saying, like, have the opportunity for there to be a conversation. You know?
And the other thing, on top of having an opportunity, you have to actually be willing to do it.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, just because your character is like really super interesting, if you don't want to talk about it, then there's no point.
Yeah, and like even like you could have the super interesting stuff, and if you never have them enact it ever, right, then it's never shown.
Yeah, right? And there's no point.
It really just becomes, it's a page of my backstory.
Yeah.
And that's it. It becomes as 2D as your fucking page.
Yes. Joke's on you. My fucking character sheet is a pop-up book.
Oh, fuck!
Dude, that actually would be fucking sweet. Could you imagine that?
There's a VR game that's like a pop-up book, but it's like D&D.
Oh my god.
And I really want it.
That would be awesome.
It's so cool.
Someone should make that a fucking pop-up character sheet.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Sweet.
That'd be so cool. I hope that's copyright-free music. I think it's their own personal theme. We haven't been claimed on it. They're not dicks.
What music?
Their intro music.
What? Whose intro music?
Nerducky.
Oh yeah.
And the one before that as well in the previous video was also royalty-free. I know that for a fact. I've listened to that track. One thing I have seen helps the silence thing is have a list of potential things to do and set that they only have time for 1 or 2 things. Doesn't work for everyone, but can help. Yeah.
Because then they actually are forced to choose.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they actually want to.
I was going to say it might lead to some analysis paralysis, but...
Yeah.
It really depends.
Analysis paralysis is at least better than complete inaction.
Fair.
Not forever, but, you know.
Right. That kind of reminds me of the problem with the silent, mysterious, aloof characters that are somehow supposed to be part of the party while refusing to do anything that to facilitate that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That tends to be kind of a newer player mistake.
Yes.
Where they make the characters that don't really, you know, I'm edgy, you know, I don't want to.
Well, it's
I'm above you guys.
It's also
I'm still help.
It also can be a thing where you've had that character and they continued on, and you'd think that they would grow from it, but they don't.
Yeah.
In which case,
that's why I say I tends to be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not, and that's more a problem player than anything.
Yeah. Well, even so, okay. never mind. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Oh yeah. My wife has decided to get into playing Necrons. Throw some tips my way when you get a chance.
Gauss players.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
It's mostly Gauss players.
Gauss players are good. I would get at least 4 boxes of Necrons. Honestly,
just warriors.
Yeah, for warriors. Necron warriors. I would say if you really want to get the value, get the fucking Indominus box. It'll give you Space Marines as well, but like the amount of fucking Necrons that you get in that, plus it gives you a rule book, and like it is honestly, I think, worth the value.
How much is it? It's like 200?
At the moment, it's like 300 and more.
Yee!
Like, it's a lot
pricey. Of Necrons.
Oh yeah, it's pricey. It's a lot of Necrons. It's a lot of Space Marines, and hey, they're fucking cool. So do it. I don't know. I'm gonna get one at some point. That's what I want.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get into it, you're gonna wind up spending that much money anyway. So
yeah, absolutely, and it is a value. If you get all those on their own, it's more.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Anyway, of course, GW listens to their fans. How else would they sue them? That's true.
That's very true.
Damn it. You want to talk about Warhammer problems? You guys convinced me to get the Gene Kill team I'm building right now. Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be rough.
I'm sorry.
So sorry, but hopefully they will get their shit.
Yeah. Sweet. I was wondering about that box. Thanks. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. No, Indomitus box is a great idea. I would say.
Aiden, are you still awake? No, he's not.
No, he should be. I just think
I know he's still awake.
Yeah, maybe his mic is dead.
Yeah, he might be muted.
Or
well, regardless, we can't hear you, Aiden.
Yeah,
if you're talking
issues or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he said he'll be right back. I don't actually.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Might have missed that. Anyway,
honestly, he's probably like, they're talking about Warhammer. I'm leaving for a little bit to wait until they come back.
He probably needed to use the bathroom or something. That's cool. And we probably just missed it because I was talking a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still begin with the end in mind. How is this going to apply to D&D, Dave?
All right. At first, it doesn't maybe seem like it, but listen, hear me out. It comes down to two things. And they're both the same thing, essentially. And that's have goals. Have goals for your character and have goals as a player. And now, sometimes this can be a little bit confusing for people to separate their player goals and their character goals. But a good example of that is, say you're a warlock who sold his soul, and then you decide it's a bad deal. Well, you picked the warlock class for a reason, because you wanted to play freaking warlock. So does getting your soul back mean you can't be a warlock anymore? So the player may not actually want their soul back, but I think the character really would.
There's a lot of different things that are going to align here. There's sometimes, as a player, it is amazing for your character to go out in glory, to have an honorable death, to have something where your death is going to be so meaningful that, players at the table or, that story is going to become legend amongst your kith and kin. So no character is ever going to be like, I want to die. But as a player,
well, unless you're a slayer,
happen a multitude of times over the decades of gaming. So yeah, having those things, I know there's definitely some tie-in between being proactive and having those goals. But when you start with where you might want to be in the end, that gives you the idea that you have a direction, that you know where you want to go. Now, be prepared that things might change. The story of my current long-term character in Dave's game has definitely changed and skewed over the course of the game as things unfold. But it's definitely, I had an idea of where I wanted him to go, and you got to adapt.
So habit number.
That's. I think we talked about this a little while ago. Of like the having your character. Oh, it was in the character arcs. Video. Having your character kind of go through this change and like be adaptable and all that kind of shit, like he's saying, because it's really important because nothing's gonna go exactly as you think it will. I would think in a D&D game. One, you have the added thing of random chance, so wherever you think you're gonna go, you might get there, you might not. You might get there in a weirder way. You might get there thinking a different thing, and then once you get there, you make a different choice. All that kind of stuff. But I would definitely agree that if you want to have your character have some sort of end game for themselves, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't know that yet, it's something you can come up with as you're playing that character. That's definitely something that isn't something that's super immediately necessary, I would say. Because like, a lot of the characters that I that I play, I don't know exactly who they are until I start playing them, right? Yeah. Because it's just, I need to get into that skin, right?
Yeah, not to mention, like, when you start that character, basically, well, depending on how you write your character, but usually you just have Warlock, Shadow Warlock, or, Druid, and that's, like, Dwarf Druid, and that's all.
Right, yeah, you absolutely could. And then, you fill in the blanks, because, like, I know the flaws, the bonds, and that kind of thing for 5e, like, are those guidelines to help with that kind of thing if you need them, which, again, fine if you need them, go for it. They help. But I like to just leave those blank and then just figure out my character, as they're playing, and figure out, like, unless we have something a little bit more predetermined in some aspects of, like, I know these guys and we were friends and now we're doing our adventure together and shit. Like, at that point, then I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough. We can we can go with that kind of stuff, but
There
then,
it is.
figure out a bunch more other things as we're playing.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
return to you now.
Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I thought you had fallen asleep. We didn't hear that you had left because we were talking Warhammer.
I figured you had left.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just basically this point was have goals for your character, for like end goals for your character. That's it. And that you should be a little bit adaptable to how they go, because you might not necessarily get to that point. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
3 is put first things first.
How is this applying to D&D, Dave?
All right, so really what this means for your D&D character and for you as a player is just be the character, live in that character. Try and think and experience the world through that character's eyes. Try and forget for just a moment that you're playing a game, that
Alejo?
Hello?
What's going on?
Sorry. Yeah, interruption. Anyway.
Dungeons and Dragons is a role-playing game, but instead, think of the role of your character. How do they interact with the world around them? How do they interact with the NPCs and other player characters in the game? Be the character.
I know that there are times that as a role player, you really don't want to get into, the nitty gritty of, how are you feeling today? What's going on? But there is so much more attachment, so much more interactivity when you get into the actual building of relationships, into the actual characters. So when you begin developing connections, then the strength of the role playing as a group is going to grow. And then if something detrimental happens to one of those players, the impact is going to be so much more.
Habit number 4 is
Okay. I agree, but I would also say that it's not for everyone to be like first person in the character like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people really do want that third person perspective. And that's fair enough. That's how they roleplay,
Yeah.
And they can still get attached, right? That way. There's no need for it to be first person. And like with somebody going into first person, whenever, I know that they're comfortable in doing that, and then they apologize and say they do this, right? When they before were saying I will, they go, they will, and I'm like, no, you're good. You can say I, like, you are the character. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I know who you're talking about because you're the only one here playing that character, right?
I will say, over the course of my time playing D&D, I've gone from more like when I first played my characters, like I would dial up a part of me to 11, and then I would almost like put on that character's skin. And because of that helped
creepy.
That helped me to interpret. Hey, you know what? Session 1 of my first session of D&D, I took a bite out of a horse's belly.
He did do that.
I did do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, like I would that was how I'd like interpret like anything that happened. That was how I would see it through their eyes. But like over time, as I've gotten more experience, I've moved to a more third person perspective.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, Morty's a fucking idiot. And Morty would be like, magic is bullshit. And like go after the magic user because he hates magic.
Sure. Yeah.
Or like he would go after the necromancer because he's a paladin who despises that someone would like disrespect the dead. And neither strategy is more or less like valid than the other. But never put yourself against the wall and think, oh, this is how I have to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know I tend to get into the character more as like just going first person because I can put myself in that mindset, which is nice. And like, you know, just completely be that character in a way, because it's just, I don't know, it just helps. It's just one of those things where it's part of the appeal for me as well, of just like, I'm not me, fucking, I'm this guy, you know. I'm going around and I'm doing my thing, hey, finger gunning everywhere, you know. Like, I wish I could do that. I'm too embarrassed.
I wish I was that cool.
I wish I was that sick and also tiny. I'm small, it's fine. But yeah, no, it's however you want to play it. You can find that connection and stuff. As long as you're playing the character and actually allowing them to connect and such, right? Like that's a big part of it. Like we said, you know, actually doing something is a lot more beneficial to that kind of dynamic than doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
Going to be win-win. But you know what, before we get it, I've got another win-win for you, and that's when it comes to what dice company you select.
Oh,
is that Easy Roller Dice?
It absolutely is.
We have the sponsorship that I'm gonna skip through. Very cool. All right, let's just bring this back to like here. There we go.
I mean, let's talk about that a little bit.
So I guess this is going to really apply to, strengthening and, building the actual adventuring party, the gaming group. And there's so many times I've seen, people or players fight over, party loot and party treasure. I want that. No, I want that. And, when you've got two characters that are very themed the same, it's very easy that they both want the +1 longsword when it's the first one. But we have to understand that there are times that what's good for the group is good for the individual. So sometimes it's good to just like, what, you have this sword, I'll get the next one.
I would totally go in a different direction as well, and I think about role.
In my total, how many years have we been playing TTRPG Zilla?
It was back in fuck. We were in college.
Oh,
that was my
I think it was 2015.
Sophomore. Yeah, so 2015, 2016, something like that. It's been either 5 or 6 years, I think, yeah.
So like in my 5 or 6 years of experience playing the D&D, I have never seen like once a fight break out.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Over loot.
I think it's because they're coming from a different background. Where that was more the case because of the way that AD&D and D&D first edition were. I think that's where they're coming from, because it sounds like that's where a lot of people started in that kind of sense. And these days, and even with our group when we started, we never really did that because we kind of like got things and then went, who could use it the best?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whose skill set matches this the most ideally?
Yeah, and we've done that throughout because it just makes sense to us because we kind of understood that it was a group game, right?
Yeah. Not to mention we did kind of all start, at least before D&D, we did all start with like video games where that is what you do.
True.
You optimize shit based on who does what best.
Yeah, that's also true. I think it is really just a difference of background at this point for this.
That is also that as well.
Yeah,
I do relate, or not really relate, but I can appreciate they're saying like, two similarly themed characters both want the longsword.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I can get that.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. I mean, so like, I think it's a difference from in character desire and out of character like desire, right?
Yeah.
Where you and I, if we played two different rogues, we would go
we
like
both want the masterwork lockpicking set.
Exactly. Like we both want it. for our characters, but I feel like out of character we would also go, well, there's no need to, like, unless we make it a fun bickering session, right? Of like, I'm gonna go lockpick like 7 houses, and if you can't lockpick them like in a minute, then I'll get it, right? Like we can do something fun and like a challenge to each other to try to see who deserves it, right?
Yeah.
We'd come up with something that's fun, but we wouldn't go out of our way to like make it like slog and be something that we would actually like argue about, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be an actual argument. It would be more like a contest.
Exactly. So,
And inviting your fellow players to sharing the limelight, sharing the role play. Critical Role does this really well. You know, not only do they, you know, focus on their characters' goals and objectives and what they want, but they're really good at bringing the other players and their characters into it with them.
That's true.
So they're sharing the limelight. This creates stronger dynamics in the party, more interesting dynamics in the party, and that's how you're going to get a win-win for everyone involved.
Absolutely. All right, so
I would agree with that entirely. If you bring other characters into your story, it makes it so that they're involved with your shit, and then you have a stronger, like, you can have them either agree or disagree, and then you have a dynamic, right? Like, or they want to help you really bad with this thing, or maybe it coincides with their own thing and you didn't even know, right? Like, it could be something totally unexpected like that, and it'd be super cool.
Yeah.
They should have used a better example, because I'm fighting the rogue to the death for the SR cosmetic only fancy hat. Fair enough, dude. The fancy hat cosmetic that I'm getting out of my loot box. I need it.
Sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yes.
Yes.
I spent the most money to get that.
Oh.
Number 5 is going to be seek first to understand, then be understood. And I think this dovetails, nicely into what you were just talking about, where you're reaching out to other players to pull them in. And if you're getting others to talk first, you're sharing the limelight. You're letting everyone else have their day in the sun. You've got the ability to let them talk, and your turn will come as well.
Yeah, number 4 and number 5, they blend together really nicely, and they're just going to help synergize the party both in and outside of the game.
If you've got the ability to, as a D&D player, converse and settle things, nicely, it's going to work at your table, whether you're talking in character or out.
So,
what I want to say is, for this, of course, I agree, but I also want to say that if you are a DM, you can also use this outside of being a player, of like having characters when they're interacting with an NPC, have that NPC look for counsel from each of them, right? Have them kind of try to ask them, what do they think of this situation? How would they handle it? If they go into like, oh no, I agree with what he says, that sounds good to me, or whatever. Maybe they do that, and that's fine, or maybe they add something to it, or they have their own unique take on the situation. Regardless of the fact you're kind of involving everybody in that moment. That way you make them all feel like they're a part of it, right? Yeah. You're not leaving anybody out. And like, I know it's harder with bigger groups,
yes,
right? Because sometimes you can forget, and sometimes you can skip out on somebody by accident just because it's a bigger group. But then, like, because an
NPC isn't gonna want 10 different opinions.
Yeah, there's also that, right? Like, but even so, trying to make that effort, trying to figure out who would, benefit from that, and hell, making it so that it's obvious that if they speak up with something else, that they will be listened to, right? You don't want to shut them down for anything like that, usually, unless it's like a bad situation to be speaking up in, and then you usually rely on the players to say something about that, right? If the players do that, then they're like, and then the NPC goes, but you get that kind of stuff out there for that to take place.
The habit number 6 is synergizing, and really this is about everything we've kind of talked about, coming together and your party being able to work together. And in game terms, this might be using abilities that work well from different class features, so that you can kind of create feasible tactics that just overall create greater results than they would by themselves. For example, if players have the ability to give other players actions, like the Order Cleric does, Battle Master can do it, Mastermind can do it. Well, anytime you can like give your rogue another opportunity to make an attack and make another sneak attack, that's going to be a huge win-win. Or maybe instead of casting haste on yourself, you're better off casting it on other party members. Maybe you're a sorcerer and you can twin that haste, and that's going to be so much more effective on your barbarian and your paladin than it would be on yourself.
Absolutely. There's a lot of ways that mechanically you can.
So don't be a shitty support.
Yeah.
And look at how Kyra.
I think most people know.
I know in the one game that I'm playing
of
there's actually
optimization.
2 characters playing a barbarian Path of the Ancients, or Path of the Ancestral Guardian. We always trim it down because it's long. But when the 2 of them fight the same thing, regardless of what that creature attacks, it's going to do so with disadvantage. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's just looking for those little things. Think of the first Avengers movie when Captain America's giving orders to everyone. Like that's kind of you want somebody in your party to be doing that.
Absolutely.
So habit.
Okay. So I appreciate all the mechanical stuff. That's fine. What I want to focus on more is the actual player stuff, like the actual interplay. So like, and when it said synergize and have somebody lead by example to kick it off, like I was thinking, so this synergy comes with time, with experience, right? With your group's dynamic. If you have gotten to that point where you can kind of reliably have that, like they brought up Critical Role before, and Critical Role, all those people have played together for years now, so they have this dynamic. We've played together for a long time now. We have our dynamic together because we know each other, right? And we can play off each other pretty well, I think. And so it's something that is definitely a time factor with that, and with the having somebody kick it off, having somebody lead by example is a good way to get people to be more comfortable in this situation, hopefully, and actually have them perhaps lead by example in the future if they see, or they might rely on the person. It's a double-edged sword at that point, but it might get some people to start going, okay, I'm going to make my character talk more because I like it when I talk with your character, or with all the other characters and all that kind of shit. And then, it can be something that slowly over time, hopefully, becomes something where anybody is really willing and able to interact and actually, develop these bonds with each other or with the world itself naturally, without having to be provoked by the DM going, hey,
do stuff.
Hey.
Poking the players with a stick and saying interact.
Exactly.
Do stuff.
Look at the world. Look.
Why do anything?
Yeah. That's my thought on it. Okay, time for me to head off. Thanks for the great stream as always. You're welcome, Steely. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the money.
I hate you.
Well, bye.
See you, Steely.
See ya.
Damn it.
Number 7, sharpening the saw. Really, sharpening the saw is about everything coming together and not overdoing anything. It's about downtime, really, inside of the game as well as outside of the game.
Okay.
Now, we're looking at this one, and off camera, we were like, all right, how is this going to truly apply? And we realized that we've spent time where we've gamed numerous days in a row, and we know people who stream every day, and when you've got a job and house, the wife, the kids, the whole thing, it's really hard to manage time. But to pull away sometimes, it will strengthen your love for what's there, and if you make sure that you've got the downtime both in the game and out of the game, I honestly think you'll be a better role player.
I totally agree. And as far as the downtime in the game, by spending some downtime in games and not always just be adventure, it makes your character more of a real person.
Yeah, you've got the ability that when you actually have time to digest the information, you've as a player character, you've got the ability to really be like, wow, what did we just do? You've heard the tales of people who get into a car accident and the stress of it doesn't affect them until hours or days later, and they're like, holy crap, what did I just go through? The same thing can be applied.
Some of us are kind of meh about the whole thing.
I was gonna say I don't think that's your case, but fair enough. Yeah, for some people.
D game. All right, you've survived combat, you killed the demon lord, blah 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 blah. All right, now you're back home. What are you gonna do? Oh, the next quest. Oh, not yet. And as you begin settling into a regular routine, the realization of, holy crap, this quest that I went on for years, that we finally did this thing, is going to impact the rest of this campaign world, for
if my DM is good.
There you go. There you have it.
I was gonna say, it's the hobbits returning to the Shire thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're going for, which I'm like, yeah, that can be the case, absolutely. And like, I agree.
It can be the case.
Yeah,
exactly.
The word is can, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Not has to be, not is, just can.
Not even should.
Right, exactly. And so it really depends on how you feel about your character and what they've gone through. Really, their personality. Where are they more happy and victorious, right? Like they're celebratory about the whole situation? Are they going to have that introspection of, holy shit, where am I now? I've gone so far that now I'm here and this is crazy. Nothing is going to be the same.
I worked so hard. I tried. I did. It's not even. Does it even matter?
Doesn't even.
That's the song.
Even in the slightest. But like. That's its own thing, but with the downtime aspect, I know that is absolutely true in the sense of both in-game and out-of-game, of like, hey, out-of-game, sometimes we need a break.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Man,
sometimes you need to kill your DM for him to be better.
Yes. Right? Like, it's one of those things where definitely pacing yourself and not going 100% all the time is probably a good idea. As much as I want to.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Because it's fun, exactly. I like having fun, but at the same time, if I'm going to be a little more detrimental to that, then take a break.
I have been known to partake in fun.
It can be a slight interesting on the palate. Little a strange thing itself.
Also, I'm just gonna take this opportunity to throw in my 2 cents worth.
Okay.
As someone who, since they mentioned the example of someone who got in a car accident, you can have that whole thing of like the hobbits return to the Shire and they're like, holy shit, nothing will ever be the same. And for me, that manifested in I knew that I had to like still like drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is a very real possibility that I'll sit in the driver's seat of a vehicle and I'll have like a panic attack.
Yeah. That's fair.
And also, with you may never be as good at Monster Hunter ever again. You may not be able to roll a Teostra nuke again.
True.
I may not.
That's true.
I have made my peace with that possibility.
How are you now, by the way, with that?
Better, I guess. I don't know. I haven't played Monster Hunter.
Oh no! I didn't mean Monster Hunter. I meant the whole like you were saying you had some issues with like timing and shit.
Well, my hand is still wonky. It's like its dexterity is just gone. But like it's not like it affects my daily life. It affects my Monster Hunter though.
That's a shame. Monster Hunter is real life.
Oh, that's true. They made a movie about it.
They did make. Ugh,
Never, I don't care.
me neither. But it was accurate. They had the weapons right.
Shut up. Anyway, but yeah, so and then the in-game downtime is really just dependent on how the story is going, because like even though spoilers, hey, for Devils and Dice, we're having some downtime. It's crazy.
Yes.
But usually we don't, right? And our downtime is more when we're just role playing shit out. You know, when we're doing just mundane shit and we just feel like doing stuff. We don't have specific periods of it, and now we're finally getting one. But it's not like it's entirely necessary, you know? Because I've never felt like...
like Boris is forcing one.
What? Yeah.
No, not Boris.
Well, me. I am.
Yeah, you.
Because I need to build things.
He needs to build things.
But, it's not like we absolutely need one, right? Like I've not been like, oh, I need downtime, right?
Yeah,
like,
because I feel like at this point you guys kind of I don't know. I can't really 100% say for certain, but it feels like you guys are more in for the story at this point.
I'd say so.
Yeah. And also the fact that like the majority of the time the downtime has been like you guys are so set. You know, you guys are good.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Broganism, but
but yeah, so it's one of those things where it depends, right? Like, because like I said, for us, we don't necessarily need it because we create our own, but it might be something that's like more necessary for the DM of somebody else's campaign to go, okay, well, we're gonna have like 2 weeks of downtime. What do you want to do, right? Like, and it might fit better in that kind of thing. But for us, it's more just like, at least for this current thing, it's like I actually need this, right? Like, because otherwise we won't get through the story without me never making this shit, you know? Or we will get through the story, but I will never make this shit. That's basically it.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. And which is why I'm glad we have it.
Are you, why are you apologizing, Boo? Are you the one who put a gun to Alejo's head and said, play an artificer, damn it?
Right?
No.
This is legitimately what I have, the bed that I have made to lie in.
It's just my writing style. It's not super conducive to it.
I understand that, and that's fine.
And I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm glad that you've adapted it so that we're okay, you know?
Okay.
Like, that's, you know, again, it's not something that I was super, like, needing, but it was something that I wanted, sure.
Yeah, something that you wanted.
Yeah.
And I wanted to let you do it.
Exactly. So.
And then, but I realized that the story at this point is kind of like go, go, go.
Yeah.
You know, shit be going down.
Exactly.
So you guys should totally watch it to find out what we're talking about.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Anyway, let's finish this video.
Habits for highly successful D&D players. Let us know if you find these helpful for becoming a better D&D player. Also, we want to take a moment to thank our patrons, because without them...
Okay, yeah, so...
And we have finished the video.
Yeah, I mean... overall good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they explained that this was taken from that book and repurposed in the beginning, because you know, I was very confused otherwise. And
I have a couple minor contentions, but overall the message of the video is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that video. Good video.
Yeah. Do we have any more?
No, that's it. That's
Okay.
all of them, actually. And honestly, it went pretty 2.5 hours. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
On something that's a pretty talked about topic usually. But we hadn't done a player specific thing in 40 episodes, so I figured, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that will do it for that. Thank you everybody for hanging out and watching. And listening in the future and all that stuff. Appreciate you. Hopefully, more people do the survey, please. It's in the description. I'll say it again if you're still at this point. If you haven't done it, I know the people who have, and I appreciate you. Believe me, I do. It's very, very helpful. But those of you who haven't, I'm not saying you need to. What I'm saying is, I would be grateful.
Need you to.
I would be grateful. It's just
you don't need to. We need you to. Very different.
Yes.
I mean, it is.
Yes. So yeah. If you could, again, it's just to help with gauging interest in things. But anyway,
it's to help make us better.
Yes, that's the whole idea. I haven't. It's fine.
Tell us so we can start season 4 already. We already gave you the sneak peek.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
So we can release 4th edition, you mean?
Right, exactly. Yeah, 4th edition of the podcast. That's true. So anyway, other than that, nothing else. So, thank you again to our patrons that I will talk about now instead of their patrons.
Wait, didn't we already do that?
Yes.
With a shout out and shill talk?
Yes, we did, but I do it at the end every time.
Oh, okay. I forgot if you did it a second time or not.
Yeah. That's Draco Kraken, Mog Zero, Slazer, Steely, Drake Cross, Chris, Frozen Spaghetti, and Kill Chrono. If you want to join it, it is TableTalk DND. Patreon.com/TableTalk DND. If you want, again, not an obligation, just helpful. It's helping to fund a thing. Hey. And other than that, thank you again to you out there. If you're at this point, hey, maybe consider subscribing. I don't know if you haven't yet. And if you have, hey, like the video maybe. And also, leave a comment if you haven't yet. Or if
also,
you want
tell
to.
your friends and give us your money.
Honestly, all right, that last part, no, but I mean, you don't have to.
Okay.
But, the first part, yeah, like tell people about us, get us out there, you know.
Hey,
good
next
stuff.
week it's up to you. I'm
Yeah,
using up all my shittery.
I got some stuff planned. Don't you worry.
Oh,
Okay,
fuck.
okay.
No. But other than that, you can find the podcast live on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then again on Fridays as a VOD at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or whatever the fuck it is now, Eastern Daylight. I don't fucking know. And then again as an audio-only version on your podcasting service of choice, usually goes up around noon on Mondays, noon EST. And Devils and Dice, there'll be a new one up tomorrow.
Yes.
At 4 p.m.
It's a big one.
Yes.
It's a good one.
It is a pretty good one. 4 p.m.
Not
Eastern.
my words. Their words.
Yes. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For that, go check out the playlist if you haven't yet and you haven't caught up. Catch up. It's really fun. Other than that, no other announcements right now. So we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Give us your money.
Yes.
Money. Give.
Yes.
Give money.
No.
Now, please.
Yes. No,
I'm
more.
ending this. I'm ending
More.
this now.